Welcome back, Tampa. This is Jeff Stanislaw, your host of the Let's Go Low show right here on AM 820. Hopefully everybody's having a great weekend, and a great weekend it should be because it is the Open time. Our special guest with us once again is Mike Hicks from Mike Hicks Golf, who is our lead for the Caddy Corner always on the Let's Go Low show right here on the Big 8, AM 820. Good morning to you, Mike.
Good morning, Jeff.
So we got big golf this weekend. It's the 154th Open Championship. It's going to be at Royal Birkdale in Southport, England. And, you know, it's Saturday. It's moving day going on right now. This is the 11th time that Birkdale is hosting it. It's the second most, other than St. Andrews, of hosting it. And so what do these guys got looking forward to this weekend?
Same old cliche, depending on the weather, what kind of weather they have
right
this week. You know, Birkdale's a quirky place, probably more quirkier places than most, in my opinion. The fairways are bumpy, and but Southport's a cool spot to be. I mean, right on the coast there. It's nice. Good. It's a very good venue logistically. You know, always enjoyed going there. This is my favorite one, Jeff. This major is my favorite major. You know, even though, you know, won the U.S. Open twice, this was the one that I really loved going to. And, you know, just it's, you know, where golf was invented over there. And, you know, the ultimate win is to win the Open at St. Andrews. That's the ultimate win in golf, in my opinion. But yeah, I always loved going to the Open Championship. I think I worked 18 straight at one point in my career. So yeah.
Wow. 18 straight Open Championships. So, you know, one thing I wanted to take a step back. So, you know, I think it used to be the British Open, right? You know? And they changed it to the Open Championship. And then just last weekend, Tom Kim won the Scottish Open. So there's a lot of, and then we have the U.S. Open. There's a lot of Opens going on. Why did they change it from like the British Open to the Open? And, you know, it's just, branding wise, I'm a marketer, right? I always get somewhat confused on which Open is the Open. And then now you got to classify it with the Open versus the British Open, and then you have the Open, the Scottish Open, and then you have the U.S. Open. So it's kind of confusing.
Yeah, I think just for
they try to elevate their brand. They want to be known as the Open.
They want it to be, you know, the major to win, and you know, I've got to agree. It's like I said, if you win the Open at St. Andrews,
the pinnacle.
I mean, it's the greatest win that any golfer could have, in my opinion. So, you know, it just, you know, they elevate, you know, take the British off of it, you know, and comparing to the U.S. Open, this is, you know, the ultimate Open, I guess, is what they're trying to get to. But, you know, it was always my favorite. I loved it. Loved going over there. You know, always took my clubs, you know, played golf. You know, you just got so much light over there. I mean, you could tee off at 4 a.m. and play till 10:30 at night. So always loved going over there. And you know, this one will be interesting, and it'll all be weather will dictate a lot of who's contending and who wins.
Yeah, the forecast actually looks pretty good. 10% chance of rain. We got temperatures in the low to mid 70s.
Yeah.
So you know,
it'll be firm and fast, and you can throw their forecasts out the window. They're worse there than we are here. So whatever you can just throw that out the window. But
yeah, whatever comes that day comes that day. Yeah, exactly. Right?
So, but with that type of heat over there, it'll be bouncy. Let's just say.
So your experience at Birkdale in the Open, we're talking with Mike Hicks. Mike Hicks is Payne Stewart's former caddy. He has a lot of experience at the Open, obviously 40, almost 40 years, as a PGA Tour professional caddy. And so why don't you tell us kind of one of your favorite stories that you might have had with Payne or another golfer on Birkdale?
Well, I think it was 90. It was either 98 or the year Finchy won, which would have been, what was that, 91? Did Finchy win at Birkdale?
Yeah.
Baker Finch. I think it would have been 91 because we were in the Grand Slam of golf and he was going to be a part of that. I'm pretty sure.
Yep. Baker Finch won it in 91.
Yeah. So
O'Mara won it in 98.
98.
Harrington in 08. And Jordan Spieth. Spieth won it in 2017, which, God, that guy needs to get going, but that's besides the point.
I think 98, it might have been 98. Payne shot, he tied the lowest round in major championship history with a 63. Obviously it's been broken since, out there at LA North, which was a story for a different time, but what a joke that setup was. But he tied a low round in a major there. I'm pretty sure it was 98, the year O'Mara won on Sunday, to go from making no money to making some money. So that was probably my best memory of Birkdale. And Southport, lots to do there. Good, fun place to be.
Because some of these places don't have a lot to do, right?
No, there's not a lot going on in some of them, but Southport was always a fun venue. Lots of restaurants, pubs, just a lot to do.
Yeah, that's always kind of important, especially when you go away. I mean, you are focused for sure, but still it's nice to have some options to go to a pub to relax a little bit while you're there, or taking some of the sights. This is Jeff Stanislaw. You're listening to Let's Go Low right here on AM 820, brought to you by Golfers Unite, golfersunite.com. You guys want to check it out? We got an all new hookup board where we're posting great deals for golfers on equipment, apparel, what have you. Go to golfersunite.com and click on the hookup. And we're talking with Mike Hicks from the Caddy Corner, Mike, Payne Stewart's former caddy. And we're talking about the Open, which is going on right now as we speak. Mike, one of the things I wanted to talk about briefly is Scotty Scheffler. So he's the defending champion from last year of the Open, but he just missed the cut this last weekend at the Scottish Open. And, kind of maybe what's going through his mind as a player. It's the first cut he made in like 79 starts, or his first cut that he missed, I should say, right. 79 starts. So, if you're his guy and you're on his bag, what are you guys talking about right now? You're probably there already. You probably went right from the Scottish over to Birkdale. So
yeah, he's probably played 9 holes Saturday, maybe even who knows. He's played a couple. He's played some holes. Let's just say after he missed the cut, I'm sure he went right over, and It's actually sometimes a blessing in disguise when that happens. I mean, it happened to Payne a couple of times. We always used to play the Scottish, just to get acclimated to the time, and then acclimated to that type of golf. Keeping the ball down and getting used to the weather and that kind of stuff. But he's if you get over there early, you can play with not many people on the course. You have a chance, gives you more of an opportunity to play in different wind directions. So, you might get lucky and catch, a wind direction that guys that made the cut at the Scottish, they get to play Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and they may not see that wind direction until, the tournament. So there's a lot of positives that can come out of that. Now, obviously, Scotty is not at peak form right now, so I'm sure they're trying to figure all that out. Yeah. So, I mean, but don't be surprised if he's not right there on Sunday.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I mean, he's got that type of game. So, this is Jeff Stanislow. It's Let's Go Low right here on the Big 8, AM 820, talking with Mike Hicks, Payne Stewart's caddy. This segment's brought to you by golfersunite.com. And our friend Mike Hicks, if you want to check him out, he's available. He does product reviews. He's, an authoritative figure on commentary. If you have an event that you might want to bring Mike out to speak at, or if you got a VIP bag need, check out MikeHicksGolf.com, and he's available for hire, and he's a great guy. Been doing this Caddy Corner. This is our 21st episode now, believe it or not. And so, Mike, let's talk about something that's new at Birkdale this year. And they made some course changes. So the old par 5 15th is now the 14th. And they have a brand new 241-yard par 3, which is the 15th. As a caddy, what are you doing on a hole that has just been introduced to the field and has come into play?
Well, seeing it's a par 3, there's not going to be a whole lot of work going on, because you're not going to be getting, run outs to, if there's a blind tee shot, you're not going to be trying to figure out what the line is with certain wind directions. It's a par 3. So you're basically, all your work will be around the green, where you can't hit it, where you can hit it, to certain pins, but a 240-yard hole, if you hit the green, that's a great shot. So not much work. I mean, so because it's a par 3, you'll just, like I said, you'll just be really focusing on the green and what's around the green.
Yeah. This is Mike Hicks is speaking here on Let's Go Low, always with the Caddy Corner for golfersunite.com. So the donut hole is kind of a famous hole. It's the 7th hole, right? Talk to us about, just playing that hole and walking through that. I mean, is it something that you like from a challenge, or do you think it's kind of more gimmicky? What is your thoughts?
It's a little gimmicky, and it's like I said, Birkdale's a little gimmicky. It's one of the more gimmicky places that you go with the fairways, or, you can hit one down the middle and it might end up in the left jump. So, I mean, depending on your bounces. So, a lot of luck involved with tee shots there. So, the whole place is a little gimmicky, if you ask me. More gimmicky venues that they play, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I guess when you take a look at it from a purist golf standpoint, I'm just curious, what course do you think, as your experience, is the purest golf experience, or maybe a couple of them? I'm sure there's a few. Versus playing some of the courses that might be more of this kind of, and I hate to say the word gimmicky, and I'm sure you probably agree with you, but, let's just call it is what it is. But, tell us about your favorite purest golf courses.
I'll say Muirfield over there. It's pretty pure. Turnberry, right, pretty right in front of you, so to speak. So I would have to say those two. Muirfield's my favorite of all of them.
Okay.
So I'd have to say those two are pretty straightforward, and you kind of get what you see. So yeah, I mean, but for the most of them are a little gimmicky compared to America golf, right?
Yeah, the rollouts, the bounce goes down in the beautiful tee ball. It ends up in the rough.
Just fescue everywhere, big high grass. We're, sure there's some of that over here, but not as much as it is over there. So,
Right.
But I love the golf over there. You got to play it along the ground, and it's,
Keep it in front.
You know, you go over there for a trip, you know, they don't close the golf courses. You know, you very, very rarely you're going to get lightning. So, you know, I've played in the wind, the rain. I'm not talking about, you know, working in an open championship. I'm just talking about playing myself. So,
Right.
are you just playing all kinds of conditions? People play. I mean, that's just part of it. You know, I think that's one thing. Our youth over here are a little soft because, you know, if it's raining out, usually they don't go play, right?
Right.
But you make it to professional golf, you better have some experience going and playing in bad weather because, you know, it's not always sunny in Philadelphia, so to speak.
Exactly. Well, we got another minute here left. Who do you like? I got Rory Fitzpatrick, Tommy Fleetwood, all playing good. They're all favored. Any sleepers that you keep an eye on quick like?
You know, I've been thinking of, you know, the Fleetwood name. I think it's time. I think he's got obviously if the putter behaves, I think he'll have a shot.
I like Tommy as well. So let's Tommy's going to be our pick. That's it for the Caddy Corner this week. We'll have Mike back and maybe talk about another segment because we got so much to talk about the Open. This is Jeff Stanislow, and you're listening to Let's Go Low right here on AM 820, the Big 8. Thank you, Tampa. Hey, everybody, it's Jeff. It is time to go low, and you must be tuned in to AM 820 in Tampa Bay. Thank you for all the listeners. We're having a great time. We got another segment today that I think will find of interest. We're going to talk about the journey to get on a pro bag as a caddy. And our special guest today is Tyler Pasteur. And Tyler is a guy that reached out to me and said, "Hey, Jeff, I'm trying to get on a pro bag. Can I get on your radio show and maybe help my cause?" I said, "Sure, let's do it, man." I appreciate you for joining us today, Tyler.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Fantastic. So you're listening to Let's Go Low right here on AM 820. It's Saturday morning at 8 a.m. This episode is brought to you by Golfers Unite, golfersunite.com. You guys check it out. We got a lot of great things going on there, building a great community, and we also have what we call the hookups. So golf deals on equipment, lessons, apparel, and what have you. Go check out golfersunite.com. So let's dive into a little bit of your background, Tyler. You know, you're a caddy right now, and you've been doing it for how many years? And just, you know, walk me through a little background on you.
Yeah, it's my 5th year. Started at TPC Scottsdale. Fell in love with it. Just kind of picked it up. It's seasonal out here in Arizona because of the weather. And then the last 2 years, I was traveling out to Butler National in Chicago. Caddied 2 seasons there. Realized I'm good at this. And
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
So you realize you're good at it, and you want to take it to the next level. So,
Correct.
And you have 5 years experience working on the bag at TPC Scottsdale and a couple seasons at Butler National, which is a fantastic golf course up in Chicago. So tell us where you're at. You know, are you like a certified caddy? You know, have you gone through any caddy courses, that type of stuff, or you just kind of a natural and fell in love with being a caddy and, you know, want to take it to the next level?
Yeah, that's kind of where it's at. I mean, I've caddied for, you know, Korn Ferry guys, some, you know, ex-pro players. I've caddied for like the Epson Tour, some ladies. I wouldn't necessarily say like I haven't like gone through anything, but just doing it over the years, it came to basically my realization that I am pretty good at this, and I know and I have what it takes.
Fantastic. That's, you know, the self-conviction is what will take you places, right?
Right.
You know, I love that about you, and, you know, hey man, I'm good at this and I want to make it my dream. So what, you know, looking at where you're at today, and, you know, you said you did some stuff on the Korn Ferry, and and the Epson tour and, what have you. Let's just talk a little bit about the grind of being a caddy and wanting to take it to the next level. Um, what does that look like for you kind of on, a daily basis in season, what you're doing so people can understand what it takes to be
Yeah,
a
I mean, there's really no pathway for it, which I've realized over the 5 years doing that's the case. It's more so kind of luck of the draw. Maybe you get on a bag for a guy that is a Corn Ferry dude and he likes you and then asks you to come and caddy for him for that tournament. I've been reaching out to some guys that are on tour, and it feels very old school to me, but I'm basically being told I need to show up Monday morning, wait around in a parking lot, and make connections and hope to get on a bag. Now, that is probably the way to do it and like the most effective way to do it, but it's not efficient in a sense of I don't have 30 grand to travel across the country to hopefully try and get on a bag. Maybe it's an alternate guy and it's his first year on the Corn Ferry. You don't really know. So I've been talking to, again, some guys that are on the tour that have been on the tour. I was also told to reach out to agents, which that's actually giving me better feedback to where I'm like firing off multiple emails to all these agents for these pro golfers, and they're giving me responses back. So it hasn't led anywhere yet, but it seems like I'm on the right path for it.
Yeah, it seems like quite a conviction that they want. It's like, oh yeah, just show up at all these events and hang out and wait around, and maybe you get picked up, maybe you don't. That's a pretty difficult road to hoe, especially like you said. It takes resources and it takes money to go out there and do that and follow these tour players. Um, you know, have you raised any money to try to help your cause? Have you gone down that path to helping you at all?
No, I guess in my sense, I'm trying to think of a more efficient way to do it. So
Yeah.
like with social media, coming on these types of platforms, um, like I'm working with Tim Palmer right now on this Caddie app that gives you not only like some sort of platform to be able to be seen, but also gives you credibility. My take on it is if I'm showing up Monday morning, what separates me from some random dude off the street corner that shows up Monday morning in the parking lot and is quote unquote saying he's a professional caddy? Like these guys don't know me. Maybe they like me, but who like they like their brother. That's why they have their brothers out there.
Right, or a friend or their buddy or their dad or some a
Right.
family member or something like that. Yeah. It's a difficult challenge. While I got you on the show here, this is Jeff Stanislow. You're listening to Let's Go Low on AM 820 in Tampa. Why don't you tell people how they can get a hold of you, Tyler, if there's some interest level.
Yeah. I'm on Instagram. My Instagram handle is my name, Tyler Pasteur. There's I think a period in the middle. Email is probably easiest. I constantly check that, but it's tpasteur, PASTEUR 25 at gmail.com.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really trying to get into this to get into the whole social media space. It's more so I'm just like trying to get my name out there, trying to get my face out there, like my story, so that yeah, some of these emails that I have sent off to agents like might possibly see this and get back to me.
All right, since I got you on the radio now and people have a way to reach out to you, tell us like, an ideal player that you would like to, be on a bag, what kind of fits your profile?
I think someone young, somebody that's like eager as much as I am to just win. Like that's really all I want to do. Everything else is kind of a perk that comes with the job, but at the end of the day, like that's really my only goal. Like I just want to go out there and win, make the sport more competitive, make the industry in itself more competitive. Where instead of we having these guys out there that are just collecting a paycheck, hoping that their guy makes the cut so they get paid that week, it's like no, like fuck it, put some effort into this stuff. Like not saying these guys aren't doing that, but I think that like that's where my lane is, trying to get into it, where it's like, yeah, I want to get maybe on one of these guys coming out from the Corn Ferry, or one of these new guys on tour right now, that I can go in there and help them be better.
Yeah, I think that's really important to have that conviction if someone wants to win. And your strategy about having someone young that's hungry as well has got to kind of align with what you're doing in regards to it. You know, the money's a byproduct of the relationship that you guys build together, but it's also, you know, you look at the field and there's a lot of people out there, you know, that have their tour cards, you know, that aren't making cuts and aren't making money. So it's a challenge for them as well. So you got to be definitely on the right page. This is Jeff Stanislaw. You're listening to Let's Go Low here, right here on AM 820. This segment is brought to you by Golfers Unite, and we're talking to Tyler Pasteur, who is an aspiring caddy. And I'm going to make sure I'm going to connect you with Mike Hicks, Payne Stewart's former caddy, Tyler, see what he might be able to do to help you out, since he does the Caddy Corner show with me every week on this radio episode. Would you like that?
Yeah, that'd be awesome. He's probably familiar with Butler too.
Yeah. Yep. He is. Yeah, we talked about it because when I was doing my road trip for Golfers Unite, I was going to go up to Chicago, and that was one of my targets. My trip got cut a little short, but and I didn't make it. But yeah, he is familiar with Butler National and obviously, you know, TPC Scottsdale as well. So I'm sure he'll have some connections there for you. What do you like? Tell me a little bit about your style of caddying. You know, when you're working with a player, everybody wants to win and stuff like that. You know, what do you think kind of differentiates yourself from maybe someone put you on a bag, you know, versus someone else? You know, just talk to me a little bit about that.
I like to keep it short and simple. I feel like a lot of times the game gets overcomplicated and you start overthinking. Sometimes, obviously, depending on the player, like you have to sort of overthink a few times, but yeah, I mean, ultimately they have the idea in their mind. All you need to do is sit there and just reiterate what they're saying. And then if you think that they're wrong, like you have to be able to have the confidence to tell them. And I think that's kind of what separates me, where it's like, one, not only like am I good at golf in a sense of caddying, but I also have the background of like the psychology behind it. And that's what's more interesting to me than the actual game of golf. Like, I couldn't imagine having to go out there in front of that many people with that amount of money on the line swinging a golf club. I'd be shaking in my boots. So it's easier for me to take that aspect out of it and be the one that's thinking. So it's like, hey, dude, just go swing the club. I'll do the thinking for you. And then again, where the question you asked me about being on a bag for ideal guy, a younger guy, because I am pretty young, especially in this industry, but I think that I have that ability to tap into the mental aspect of it. So the mental psychology behind it.
Yeah, I think that aligns well. Let's talk a little bit about, you know, some of the things in the caddy world that you know that are helping, or training wise, or what have you. This is Jeff Stanislaw, and you're listening to Let's Go Low here on AM 820, brought to you by Golfers Unite. And we're talking with Tyler Pasteur, an aspiring caddy that it wants to get on a bag of a young professional that's eager and hungry as well. What are your thoughts on, like, you know, aim point? Are you an aim point guy? Do you like it? Or, you know, what type of things do you, similar to that, do you really believe in?
I'm all feel.
Feel?
I think the aim point works. Obviously, like there's guys out there that are successful with it. I'm more of just feel and just first gut instinct. Like I find myself when I'm caddying and we're sitting there over a putt for 2 minutes, like we're over reading it, we're over talking about it. Like I'll go up, read it, and just look away. So And again, like that may not necessarily be the right option, but that's where I come from. I also have sort of an unorthodox way to reading greens and whatnot. Like I visualize rolling a ball with my hand. Sometimes I'll use my foot to do it.
Uh-huh.
It just helps. Like I'm visual. That's all it is. So like again, the feel just kind of helps with me.
I think a lot of times, and I think you're right to a certain point in regards to feel. I think a lot of times people get in, to their routine so much and they rely so much on other things that they kind of just forget what they really need to do. They really need to, just pick the line, get the speed right and make the putt, or make the swing, with the right number on their club. And, obviously in your conversations with your player, you're going over, all right, this is where we want to hit it, right? We don't want to miss here, or we do want to miss here if we're missing, things of that nature.
Right.
Once again, Tyler, why don't you tell people how they can reach out to you?
Oh yeah, Instagram. Again, it's Tyler.Pasteur, and then email tpasteur25@gmail.com.
Yeah, we'll see what we can do to help you, help get the word out for you. You got a bag willing to travel, but you're not willing to travel just on the if comes, and
Right.
you're trying to do things a little bit different, which we can appreciate, all of us. What's your next stop for caddying? Are you waiting to go back in season at TPC Scottsdale, or you got some stuff on the bag here over the summer?
Yeah, I mean, I had an agent reach out to me about a Corn Ferry guy, so there's a possibility on that end. Right now, it's kind of up in the air. I'm working on this app. It's called Verified Caddy Network with Tim Palmer, Looper Talk. We're getting good feedback on it. It's obviously not something that I am passionate about it, but it's not the end all be all for me. I'm just using that for the platform. And I look at the industry and the longevity that I've had in it, that there is a little bit of a flaw into it, where it's like there isn't some type of way for guys like me or guys that are in the industry that want to move up. And that's what this is.
Well, we'll see what we can do for you here at Golfers Unite and on the Let's Go Low radio show. This is another episode. Thank you for tuning in, Tampa. We'll be here next Saturday again with more on golfersunite.com and the Let's Go Low radio show. Thank you, Tampa.
Thanks.
Hello, Tampa. It is Jeff Stanislow, and it is time to go low right here on AM 820 every Saturday morning in the greater Tampa Bay area. We appreciate all the love and support that you guys give to us here in this Tampa, beautiful area, Florida, golf mecca world. Today we have back our special guest, Dave Snee, and Dave is the franchisee for the Back Nine in Carrollwood. And, we had Dave on a little while ago. He was opening up the grand opening of his place, Back Nine Carrollwood, right behind the Chick-fil-A at Dale Mabry and Bears, an excellent location if you want to check it out. But now we wanted to get a little update on how things have gone and talk a little bit more about golf now that he's a full business owner and what have you. Dave, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks, Jeff. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's been a kind of a whirlwind since we've last spoke. We've got the grand opening was fantastic. Had about 130 people here. The Carrollwood Area Business Association, CABA, really participated, and a lot of other small businesses contributed and set up tents and tables in the parking lot. So it was kind of a mini, kind of event here, but really cool. Good bounce of golfers that heard about that on shows like this and social media, and so since then we've been steadily increasing memberships. We're at about 60 plus now, on our way to 120 is where we're going to cap out. So yeah, things have been great. On that front, I'll also say that just learning how to use full swing and the full capability of the simulator behind me is just fantastic. I thought I did my homework, and well, I did before purchasing this franchise, but there's so many cool things you can do on full swing, from practicing to playing to really kind of making it fun to play with, a group of people. Just the other night we had a soccer watch party, and we had 8 guys, and we paired up into 2-man scrambles and then played 9 together in one of the adjacent bays. Just a fantastic time, and just doing that, kind of rolling through, you kind of test the waters, like, all right, so from this as an entertainment venue, can I have a watch party and play golf at the same time? And the answer is absolutely we can, and it was a lot of fun.
Right. A lot of experimenting going on right now, I'm sure. We're talking with Dave Snee. Dave is the franchisee for Back 9 Carrollwood. Brand new location, beautiful, 3 bays, reception area. You guys got to check it out. It's right behind the new Chick-fil-A at Bears and Dale Mabry. If you check it out, tell them that Jeff Stanislow from Golfers Unite and the Let's Go Low radio show sent you. They'll take really good care of you. Dave, so, taking a step back, just in real life golf and sim golf, I mean, we're seeing some amazing stats, and it's a symbiotic relationship for sure. I recently wrote an article for Sports Talk Florida about the sim world. It was a little bit more Florida oriented, but one of the things that I found was very, very interesting is that 40% of the people that are playing sim golf have never played golf in real life. And that's a positive thing for your business. But that number was staggering in my mind. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah. I first read an article like that in January before I opened. And I didn't believe it. I mean, to be frank, I just thought, I'm not sure where they're getting their data. But I'll tell you, it is amazing to me how many people and members that I have actually have never played real golf. A lot of the younger generation, folks that maybe their dad or some other influence in their life wasn't a golfer, and so they don't have the means or just kind of the understanding of how to go play golf. And it's intimidating if you go to a country club or a golf and you're by yourself and you don't know how to play, and you almost need someone to hold your hand. And we all have that experience, whether it was your dad growing up or a buddy in college or something where we first got introduced to the game. But now people can come in and have a private bay and just start whacking balls by themselves and not feel embarrassed about not playing. I have there's this group of 3 guys that come to mind that come here quite often that they're very competitive. They're decent golfers. I'd say just by watching them, they're probably got a, 15, 16 handicap kind of golfers, decent. Sure. From what I can tell. Never played grass golf before. Never.
Wow.
But
yeah, I don't doubt the numbers and the statistics. And the reason why is in my mind, I think, like, as a person who's never played, is it has a lot of the value propositions of someone who is interested in golf but doesn't want to go out to the course. One, you're in a private bay. Right. Nobody's really watching you. You can do your shit. 2 is you're not going to break anything. You know what I mean? You can just go out and hit it. The sim is going to be fine. 3, you don't lose golf balls. 4, you don't have to go out and get a $1,500 set of every club because, when you're playing sim golf, if you have an 8-iron, you don't have to be dialed in the exact distance. It's fun. You just a lot of things I think might intimidate someone from going in real golf. The wait time, you're not waiting on other players. It's not a 5.5-hour round on a Saturday. You can get in and out of there 18 holes. Even like if you're not an experienced sim golfer, usually about 2 hours, and you can play 18 holes with 4 people and have a great time. So there's a lot of value proposition for that.
If you think about one scenario, you're in that group. You're not the best golfer in the group. everyone stripes their drives right down the middle of the fairway, and you chili dip off the tee, right?
Yeah.
In real life golf, that's super embarrassing because not only did you not hit well, but now you've got to drive or have your cart go, maybe not even past the ladies' tee, and everyone stops and has to watch you hit again.
And you're too deep on the deck, on the tee box watching. So yeah.
But if you're in the bay, no one knows. No one even cares because they're thinking about their next shot because the reset is quick. And so I may have to hit it twice to your once, but we don't have to drive to it. It's not embarrassing. Like, all right, now they're watching me. I'm going to hit anyway, Right. And so there's this like kind of mindset that's a little different when you're playing sim golf. If you're learning,
clicking the little mulligan button on the screen is pretty easy too. If you have a bad one and you're playing with some friends and it might be decent golfers, but they know what your expectation is. They just click the mulligan button and you re-tee and you're right back at it. So the experience is great. This is Jeff Stanislaw. You're listening to Let's Go Low right here on AM 820. Our special guest is Dave Snee, the franchisee for Back Nine Carrollwood, the brand new Back Nine in Carrollwood, right at Dale, Mabry, and Bears behind the new Chick-fil-A. If you want to check out the Back Nine, tell them that Jeff Stanislaw from Golfers Unite and Let's Go Low sent you over and ask for Dave. I'm sure he'll take good care of you. This episode is brought to you by Golfers Unite. It's golfersunite.com. Go check out our brand new website, just recently launched, where we have fantastic deals board on all different types of brands. And then we have even better deals on curated partners of Golfers Unite. It's golfersunite.com. So Dave, we touched on a couple things. Your experience as a business owner here now is vastly different from your experience as in the Navy, as a a commander of a ship. We had a conversation, Captain. We had a side pocket conversation of like why commander and captain's different, but he is a captain, which is much more higher and prestigious of a naval ship. So maybe just take us down the small business ownership and you're kind of blown away at all the things that you had to do, but you're still chief cook bottle washer now.
That's right.
What are some of the things that you've learned and transitioned personally about owning a small business?
Yeah, well, I mean, I thanks for that good comment though. As a former Navy captain, some people describe it as the fall from grace because when you're a captain in the Navy, people just do things for you, And as a small business owner, I joke with my patrons here. I'm the president and janitor because I do it all, and I'm certainly not above it. So my daily routine is I come in and I sweep, I swab the deck, I take the trash out. So I'm the captain and the deck seaman here. But it's awesome to be honest with you. Running it's a steep learning curve. I've got a lot of experience in the corporate world after my time in the Navy as a consultant and then running a large program doing IT transformation. But doing this is, I get to connect with golfers and my members every day. I come in and there's a new group of folks that I can, get to know. In fact, we're getting a bit too big that I'm starting not to know everyone's first name. It's just a weird, because there was a point when I first opened and it was kind of the usual suspects. But now I'm getting to the point where I have to look at my tee sheet and go, all right, so who's going to be in this morning? And, oh, that's right, so-and-so. And I had someone, I'll run into people now locally around Carrollwood area. I was at a golf shop 2 days ago with my son and a guy came up. It's like, Dave, hey, how's it going? And I couldn't put it together.
The synapse has got to start firing a little bit.
That's right. He's like, yeah, I'll see you at the back nine. And then I'm like, so it's cool just meeting new people, meeting people excited about golf and just, it's awesome seeing dads and their sons in here playing, husband and wives in here playing. I have a family that, and this is good news for people listening. They are homeschoolers. And so they bring their kids in for gym class or the PE credit.
Oh, wow.
And so they asked, hey, could you give me the invoices every month, and we're going to submit it to this Step Up program here in Florida and see if it flies. Because it's not a BS kind of request. They're in here 2, 3, 4 times a week, banging balls, and he's teaching his kids how to play golf. Well, he just told me this past week, he's like, hey, the state approved it. And so now the state is funding his membership to Back Nine through the Step Up program, because he brings his kids in during the school day and teaches them how to play golf.
Amazing.
Yeah. So I got to think about that. I wasn't got to get the word out maybe. And cause I know there's a lot of homeschoolers out there that, you're kind of looking for things to do, and the state will pay for it. So
yeah, no, that's really, that's something great. Get that information out to the school networks and what have you, that they can do that. This is Jeff Stanislaw. You're listening to Let's Go Low right here on AM 820. We're talking with Dave Snee, franchisee from Back Nine Golf. Brand new facility, 3 bays, beautiful, right behind the new Chick-fil-A at Dale, Mabry, and Bears. Great location. You can actually order Chick-fil-A right from your bay, which is pretty damn cool. Before we got another couple minutes here, Dave, and I wanted to ask you a little bit more. You're doing a lot more entertainment events. You mentioned the World Cup watch party. You mentioned some of the software. Now that you're peeling back the onions on the whole full swing technology capabilities. People can have corporate events at your place now. Does the screen show the game or whatever they're watching as well, or is it the TVs on the side? You got it set up so it can all be on one screen, or?
Yeah, so both. Each bay has its own TV, but then for the watch party I'm in bay 1 behind me. That entire screen was the soccer game.
Oh, so wow.
Brought the chairs into bay 1. Everyone, this was like a big living room. Literally, the guys playing soccer were bigger than us in real life.
Oh, wow.
And so it was super cool. I can only imagine, what football season will bring for watch parties and things like that coming up. And then the adjacent bay 2, is where, you could, have a scramble or some sort of closest to the pin or something fun to do in conjunction with watching the game.
Yeah.
The other thing I don't know.
And if the media, if you could have like the TV inside the big screen where it would separate the input, so you could be like playing and watching the game at the same time, might be something to look into, especially when you have some news that Full Swing, recently had a business change as well. You want to expand on that for a minute?
Yeah. So Full Swing was acquired by Versant this past week for $530 million. That's an umbrella company that owns a bunch of other companies, including Golf Now, which we just signed with. So probably in the next week or so, if you go Back Nine Carrollwood will be listed on Golf Now. So they'll have hot deals and things like that. So they'll have access to my tee sheet, and you can book through Golf Now if you remember Golf Now. But yeah, so we're excited about that. Our CEO sent a note out right before the purchase happened. This is something that had been in the work for months. But Full Swing is going to be a major player. So they've got an influx of cash now being bought, and I think only better and bigger things to come with this simulator company that's already pretty big. They're the company, affiliated with Tiger Woods and a bunch of other pro golfers. They're the simulator of choice for the TGL league on ESPN. So yeah, good things to come.
Yeah. So Dave, thanks for joining us. This has been another episode of Let's Go Low. Thank you, Tampa, for all the love and support. Check out Dave Back Nine Golf Carrollwood. You can just search it up and find the information. And as always, check out golfersunite.com. Until our next time, take care, Dave.
All right. Thanks, Jeff.